Welcome back to Casual Buzz Rugby. We've got Jake once again. And Jake, we've got some talking points. We've got some news that we have to talk about. We've got some updates in terms of the tournaments like the URC and the Prem that we also need to talk about. First and foremost, as per usual, how are you doing? How's that fitness journey going? Give us the weekly update.
Not good. It's going okay, but I haven't been running since last Wednesday when I ran a 5K. But I'm going tonight as soon as we're done with this and try and do 7.5. I'm down though. I'm still down. I'm just under 15 stone, which is 95 kilograms. So there we go. That's good.
That's fair enough. I mean, you should just get like a fishing stick in front of you and dangle like a burger in front of you, and you're not allowed to use your hands, and then just like chase after the burger the entire time. I'm pretty sure you'll put up some serious numbers.
Yeah, every time I want, sort of like to up the pace, I just add in a burger.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, people, Jake, you actually went to a Prem game this week, and you went to the Saracens game where you lost, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, it was.
You've got a match day vlog coming out.
Yeah, it was an away trip to Northampton. Can I say, what a ground! What a ground it is! It's definitely worth going if you've never been there. And they lost in the final minute, in the final play of the game. So yeah, quite entertaining vlog. That'll be out tomorrow. So check it out on my YouTube.
Yeah, page. People go to Jake's TikTok, go to his YouTube, go show him some love and support. And if you like just fans coming together and talking about the game, then this is the place to be. So please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate you guys. But there was big news that dropped this morning. The 2026 schedule of fixtures list has been dropped for the Six Nations. And there was a surprise entry, right? There's two talking points around this, right? Well, talking point number one, we're starting off with the opener on a Thursday. Now, this is obviously because of the Winter's Olympics, as far as I've heard, the ceremony, and they don't want that to clash. My question to you, Jake, why not just move it to the Saturday?
Well, that was what I was thinking. Why would you not just play it on a Saturday, another one on a Saturday, and then third game on a Sunday? But I don't know. I think they're worried maybe about events clashing with the Winter Olympics. I mean, I don't think there are many people in the UK who watch it that much, but maybe more in France with the Alps. They're more into winter sports. I don't know.
Yeah, but there's still other games on the Saturday.
Yeah, no, it's a France game, isn't it? And they want to try and build off the momentum of winning it last year and get as many people as they can to watch it.
Like, I don't mind it, to be fair. I've seen some extreme uproar about it on social media, and fair enough. But for me, it's not that deep. I would have preferred it on the Saturday. It would have been cool on a Friday. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to kick up a massive fuss about it. I mean, we moan a lot, but I'm not going to sit here and moan about that.
I mean, they're going to sell out either way. I think a lot of people are going to be taking that Friday off potentially, but otherwise, it's not really a big deal, is it?
No. What do you think about your fixtures, the home and away? And what do you think about your fixtures, the home and away?
But I don't care about that for now. What I'm annoyed at this first game is France versus Ireland again, which I did 2 years ago. That's one of the best games, and like a potential decider. I don't think it should be the first game of the Six Nations.
What would you have as the first game? Because you need to start it off with a bang. That's obviously what they would be going for.
Someone like France, Scotland, where there's always a little chance, but really France will
win. That's a good one. You know what's actually a good watch always as well is Wales, Scotland. I enjoy that game as well.
Yeah.
You just need something to kind of like break the shackles, but also have it as a good game. I feel I get what you mean. Like, this feels like one of the deciders, the same as like when England's a part of it, and you don't really want that as the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Because then when one of those teams lose, it kind of already feels like, okay, well, I can't see them winning now.
I mean, this tournament is definitely going to be better for Ireland, I would say, because I know Irish fans don't like it, but I think you get advantages naturally in lots of ways. So I think one big advantage for Ireland is their squad mostly plays for Leinster, so you want to play France and England as early as possible, and they're playing France's first game, so I think that's a good thing for Ireland. Disadvantage for France, not it's going to happen, but still, it's a fact.
Yeah. Second talking point regarding this, and this is a positive. I absolutely love it. We've spoke about it when the Six Nations was on. It's like, I hate this 2 games, 1 week off, 2 games, 1 week off, and then 1 game. No, they've changed it. The structure's changed. We've got 3 games, 1 week off, 2 games, and it's so much better, right? I don't care. I love my franchise rugby, but not while there's internationals. I want to see international rugby every single week while there's international rugby on.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely love it. I don't even know why they had it the other way around. It just feels like an unnecessary drag. You spoke about it when we spoke about the Six Nations, where it was like, now England's on this momentum, but now you're stunting it. Obviously, you carried it on, right? But now you're stunting it by giving it another week off. And then you're playing well, and then it's another week off. And it's just like, no. Why can't these guys just play 3 games in a row? You've got the squad.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just better for fans, because like the casual fans sometimes sometimes you don't get a banging first game on the first weekend. So it takes a couple of weekends to get into it. And then by the 3rd weekend, they're like, oh, who have we got this week? And it's just, it's a rest week. Like, already. It's already played 2 games. But I think it's great. I think it's great, 3 in a row, then 1 rest week. That's all you need, then 2 more. If you have to have a second rest week, I'd just put it before the tournament even starts, in between a club game,
Yeah.
But, I think it's good. It's very good. England play Ireland on that 3rd week, so we're gonna have a great win there at Twickenham, and then our momentum's going to be ruined again before we play Italy in round 4. But it's fine.
No. Well, it's not the end of the world. I'm just a fan that they took out the second break. It felt so unnecessary. It felt ridiculous. But what is some of the other major news that we actually Leski's been announced as the AUNZ coach for the British and Irish Lions as well.
Yeah.
Massive news for him. Getting that sniff of the international scene before he really steps up into that job.
He's got Ian Foster as a assistant coach, I saw as well.
But he's not the best coach.
Well, he got to World Cup finals, to be fair. But
but like most Kiwis will probably tell you, he's one of the worst that they've had.
But it's good though.
Comparing to the others,
Australian and Kiwi blend, and he's got more experience at international level probably than Les Kiss at international level. So it's good.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I'm happy for Leski. So I think this is a good thing for him.
Yeah.
Because he'll obviously have a close eye on the Wallabies stuff. Now he'll have an even closer eye on it, seeing that he has to actually coach one of the games.
I reckon Joe Schmidt stays as a consultant all the way until the 2027 World Cup. He's going to get dragged into it, which he should.
As far as I know, he was anyway going to stay on in a consultant role, kind of like Russie was for Jock Nienaber.
Yeah, but it didn't confirm how long. I think it's just for now, like some 2026, but I think he'll go all the way to the end of 27.
Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Talking about some of the Southern Hemisphere, is there something in the Japan waters? Because when players go to Japan and they come back, they play some of the best rugby you've ever seen. We've seen it with the Springboks, right? We don't even see them, and they come back and they're just on fire. Ari Savea goes to Japan, right? Comes back. People said he struggled last season. I don't think he struggled. His game just changed a bit with Wallace Satiti there because they kind of play a bit of a similar role. He's come back to Super Rugby with a lot of criticism about him going to Moana, right? Is that the best move for Ardie Savea?
Yeah.
And he said it on a podcast, the Morning Shift, which is like a Kiwi radio station type thing, right? And he said he takes stuff like that personal because it feels like people are doubting him and doubting the team. And he's just been announced as player of the tournament. And Moana has beat the Blues for the first time. And they're in the running for the playoffs as well. That guy is absolutely unreal at the moment.
I mean, what a game in itself. That the Blues v Moana. I think it's great that there's sort of like an Auckland derby there. It was a great crowd. But yeah, he was just. It's one of the best single performances from a solo player in a game you ever see. It was incredible, and I can't wait to see what he'll do. Well,
And
maybe
it's been like that all season.
just for the Rugby Championship and against the French, it's going to be hugely exciting to see it. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. We're going into a Rugby Championship where the Springboks are defending champions. No one else other than the All Blacks, as far as I know, has won it twice in a row. Right. So we're trying to defend that. Obviously, in comparison to the rest, I feel like we were the dominant team on paper, right? Because new coaches for the All Blacks and those type of things, right? But this season they're going to be 20 times better, right?
Okay.
Australia will be a million times. I didn't say that as like a slight to the All Blacks. Like people were expecting the Springboks to win it, right? Because we had two home games against the All Blacks and those type of things. It was a year for the Springboks to win it, right? Usually the All Blacks are always favorites. Now we have to go and play there, right? We are obviously trying to defend this. Won the Freedom Cup for the first time in a million years. Now we have to do it in New Zealand, but New Zealand now have got a bit more of a year's more experience. I mean, they had an average team of like 23-year-olds. Right, I think
casual,
that was
casual. We're about 3 months out still. Who's the favourites to win the Rugby Championship?
the All Blacks. They're probably the favourites.
Yeah.
I'm not backing the All Blacks to win it, but they are probably the favourites. Because South Africa has to travel there for both games as well. The same as the Springboks were the favourites last season.
Are you okay with losing at Eden Park again?
No, we'll take that streak. That's ours.
You won't.
Bring it to me. If there's one team that deserves that streak, it's the Springboks.
I suppose it wasn't the All Black streak at Ellis Park. I think as long as Eden Park streak before last.
But they've got an Ellis Park streak as well. Like these guys, they're just nemesis. They bro, they're the best team to play the game. It's like
well, they were. Now it's England.
Sure, buddy. No, but anyway, I don't want to go off topic, but like if you look at the competitiveness of this Rugby Championship that's coming up and the way that Ardie Surveyor is playing, Springboks trying to defend. You look at Australia that will obviously want to shine, seeing that they obviously building up to a World Cup. They're coming off a British and Irish Lions tour. Argentina has already beat all three of us literally last season. They'll want to kick on from that. This is going to be the best Rugby Championship in a very, very long time. And Ardie Surveyor is going to play a major role for the Kiwis.
And you've got to think, you guys aren't playing the toughest people in your sort of summer tour before the Rugby Championship, are you? And then
can be called cold.
You could be playing a B team, France, New Zealand. So Australia playing the British and Irish Lions might be coming into the Rugby Championship with the most form, and tested the most. So it's quite exciting.
No, the British and Irish Lions countries involved aren't that great, to be fair. I'd rather play Italy.
But I'll probably play a load of Irish people. Aren't very good.
Yeah, it's the 12 Irish down to Australia. No, but
Argentina will be more tested playing us.
Yeah. Now, all jokes aside, I'm really excited for this Rugby Championship, and I'm very nervous for it at the same time. But that's good. Like, you want competition. It's the same with the Six Nations, right? Who wants a runaway thing, right? You want to win the Six Nations or win the World Cup or win the Rugby Championship with no caveats, where it's not like, they didn't have a good year or whatever, right? Like, you want to beat the best.
Six Nations with no caveats, actually. It's been a while. It's been 5. It's going to be 6 years next year since we won. It's pain.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move back north.
Yeah.
The final 8, the quarterfinals of the URC. We've got our fixtures as well.
Yeah.
We've got, let me tell you.
Yeah, I need to get it up.
So we've got Leinster, who was first, taking on Scarlets, who placed 8th. You've got Bulls taking on Edinburgh. That's 2 versus 7. Then you've got the Sharks taking on Munster. That's 3 versus 5. And then you've got Glasgow taking on the Stormers as well.
That's a good one, that.
I made a video today, right? And I want people
Yeah.
to come down in the comment section. Where I feel like I can't be the only Stormers fan. And I know this is morally and ethically wrong. Well, I kind of hope the Stormers would place sixth, right?
Yeah.
Or the Sharks would drop off and get fourth, right? Where we can just move to the other side of the bracket. Because it's not knocking the Stormers, knocking the Bulls or knocking the Sharks. They're not easy teams. But it means the Stormers stay in South Africa. But now that we're on this side of the bracket,
Yeah.
now we have to travel to Glasgow, defending champions, who's just got Sione Tuipulotu back,
Mhm.
right? Then, if we win that, then we have to go to Leinster, who's got a absolute fire up their belly
Yeah.
because of the Champions Cup in the semi-final at the Aviva. And then we have to travel back home.
Yeah. Well, at least
Am I
like,
wrong for feeling I wanted to be on the other side?
at least if you do beat Glasgow, it's only like a short trip to Leinster. You don't have to come all the way back down. But yeah, I see what you mean. Are you happy with Glasgow? Do you think the start of Glasgow? Do you think you can beat them?
No. I'll always back the boys. I'm always going to back my boys, right? And I do believe we can do it. But the thing is, I've said this before. Those guys at home are monsters. They are the devil at home. You just don't go to Glasgow and beat them on their 4G pitches. And you know what? Like the Stormers love winning at home, but you know what they love even more? Losing on the road.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I've had the misfortune of doing this with you many times now, Casual. I swear it was a couple of months ago. I said, I'll back the boys, but I think England might lose to a certain team in the Six Nations. And you hounded me and said I didn't support my team because I predicted them to lose. And now you're doing the same.
That's your country. That's different.
No,
This is just a franchise team.
Right, okay. You don't actually support the Stormers. You're now a Glasgow fan.
Whoa. No. I said I'm still going to back the boys.
Okay.
But it's going to be tough.
How do you feel the other South African teams will go then? Bulls, Edinburgh.
Oh, bro, the way that the Sharks are playing, they might just lose to anyone.
Well, I said Bulls, Edinburgh.
I just heard. And what do you think about the other South African teams? Bulls should win that. They are a team on a mission at the moment. Like I would be surprised if the final's not between the Bulls and Leinster.
Yeah, and then you say Sharks could lose to Munster. You reckon?
You know, Munster's that team. We spoke about it. If they just sneak in, they love points they love a victory in South Africa.
Oh man, I was so hoping they wouldn't make the top 8 for this because I don't really care about the URC and who wins that, but it would have been a bit of a shock to Irish rugby if Munster hadn't made the top 8 in Europe next season. But you know, fair play to them for doing it, but it would have been a bit of a wake up call, I think.
Yeah, well, we had the discussion the other day of like, should Irish rugby be held to a higher standard? Imagine if they sit with a Munster and Leinster finals still.
But we said all this and got a load of stick in the comments. And I keep saying too much geared towards Leinster. And then they just cut their sevens programme. So, you know, what does that show?
Yeah, but obviously when we said it, we saw a Munster sitting in 10th, the other two teams right there at the bottom. So those points still stand. Obviously, Munster can pull out a couple of performances and still win this thing. I wouldn't put it past Munster. They've done it before. They know how to do it in these big games and those type of things. But it's tough to see past a Leinster winning this tournament this year. It just feels like they're going to do it this year. It's the first time that I'm backing Leinster to do it. I backed it at the start of the season as well. At some point,
Scarlets did beat Leinster just a couple of weeks ago.
No, it's not the same. No, because Leinster will just play their full strength team now. There's no benching Geordie Barrett. They won't do that again.
Yeah,
they'll ragdoll most in front of them.
Okay, and so you think Scarlets will be gone?
Yes.
And will they be gone as a Welsh region? Because
this is an interesting discussion, right? Because we saw the same happen with Australia.
Yeah.
With their franchises. I don't think it will be the worst thing in the world. Bringing two together. wasn't there rumors in the past that like the Scarlets could go with the Ospreys or something in the lines of that? Two of the teams could combine.
Yeah, that's been a lot of the rumours going on before because it's been a long struggle, I think, for Welsh rugby.
That's what I would do. I've said the same thing about, for instance, like the Lions. Their big thing has always been squad depth. They have to play 3 tournaments with the same squad, and it's not a big squad.
Mm-hmm.
They're very talented. Their starting 15 can compete with most, but just like combine them with, for instance, the Cheetahs, because we have this thing called the Curry Cup. I'm sure you've heard of the Curry Cup. You can split them again, right? Because then it's 10 teams from all the provinces and whatever. But in my opinion, they are like close enough to kind of combine as one. They can just all live in Joburg. They can play at Ellis Park. That will actually get people to Bloemfontein as well. That's also an international stadium, but they don't get franchise rugby at the moment. That can bring in money to the Free State as well. Just combine those two teams. They used to be combined, if I'm not mistaken, in the Cats, and then they split. Just do it again. And I do the same for Wales. I think it's a good move financially. I think it's a good move for rugby. I think that opens up a spot for if someone else wanted to pop in, if you wanted to add another Scottish team, maybe something like that.
Well,
or if you just wanted less teams.
Let's talk first about like the Welsh bit itself, and like people write in the comments which Welsh team you would cut. I got to start with you. Which one would you do of the 4?
Well, if you go on basic form, you'll probably have to cut the Dragons, but I'm not sure in regards to where the Dragons are and how the public around there supports the team, right? Like you can have a bit of an offish team, but still have major support for that team. You look at the Highlanders in the Super Rugby, they don't really perform out of their skin or anything, but they get a lot of support. Yeah. So then you can't cut them or anything like that. So performance-based, you'll probably have to say the Dragons because they're always the team struggling. Scarlets have had a very, very good season, but I think you can take Welsh rugby to the next level if you just combine literally the two most struggling teams. You'll probably combine the two teams that are the closest to each other, unless the one is, for instance, like Cardiff is the massive one. You're not going to cut Cardiff, right? Mm-hmm. They right there at the Principality. So I'll keep Cardiff. I'll keep, for instance, let's say the Dragons, and then just combine the Scarlets and the Ospreys, because that was the rumors before. So I'll just do that. Yeah. I think it's a brilliant move.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that one? Because you're obviously a bit closer, so you would know a bit more.
Yeah, it's really difficult. This is not the same as Australia, by the way, because yes, I think it'll have the same effect if you get rid of a team. It will have a short-term improving of the other 3 teams, or the teams still in it. But Australia is not a historical, rugby's not their pride of their sort of sporting culture, especially in Melbourne. In Wales, it is, and it feels more of an insult. And I know amongst young people, a lot of football fans, but it feels really hard to cut one region. I would probably get rid of, if I had to, I'd probably choose the Scarlets, because the area they are in is not a massively populated area compared to the other ones. And people say if you get rid of the Dragons, they're the best well-run financially, apparently.
Well, they can't cut the Scarlets. They're in the Champions Cup now.
Well, it said it would take at least 2 years to get rid of the Welsh team, so it'd be over 3-year process. But also the Dragons are the closest to like Gloucester and Bristol, so you might lose a few players, and the catchment area and the academies to English clubs.
Yeah, it's tough. Obviously, I can only speak from an outside perspective. I don't know anything about Wales, right? So I can only base it on performance, and I know you can't cut Cardiff. Yeah, but they're also the best performing team, right? So from my perspective, I know you said it's not the same as Australia, but it all boils down to finances as well. We've seen finances. We've talked about finances. You mentioned it earlier with the IRFU that had to cut the sevens program for Ireland, and I mean they were competing until literally the final day for the championship against Argentina, right? So in terms of finance and those type of things, getting people behind one team and then maybe opening it up for another Scottish team where you get 3 Scottish representation, you've got 4 Irish, 4 South African.
That's the next question I was going to say. What would you bring in if you could bring in a new team?
Yeah, the Scots.
Yeah,
I do the Scots. I think they deserve it. They've got two very good teams, and I'm pretty sure they can get a very good third team out there as well. Don't you think? Because I've heard people talk about maybe getting in like the likes of a London Irish, but
No,
they won't. They won't pass the bill on that one.
Piss off with that idea. I've done a whole video on that. Check out that video. I did about 3 months ago. I don't think Scotland can support a third team. At least not in. People talk about Aberdeen. It's just not a historical rugby area. I think it'd be hugely loss making. I would be more interested in maybe the Georgian Black Line, the Cheetahs.
Oh yeah. My bad.
Or third Italian team even.
That would actually be great. Yeah, I wouldn't do a third Italian team. I think Italy's first got to sort out the two teams that they have there.
But there's a couple of really big clubs near Benetton, which I think would be quite exciting. But I think the Cheetahs would be a good one, or Black Lion as well.
The Cheetahs is a tough thing because it's like, do you want a fifth South African team in there?
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, I would love for the Cheetahs to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just thinking, like, for the URC as a whole, do they want to see a fifth South African team in there? I love the Black Lion shout because obviously you've got the talk of even Georgia, for instance, getting into the Six Nations. Like, obviously that has been talking points, or they want to have a playoff with Wales or whatever, which I don't feel is fair, by the way, because it's like Wales have had, 2 bad years now, right? They still made it to the World Cup quarterfinals. How many years were Italy bad? And there was no discussions of this that I heard. But all of a sudden, now Wales struggling. And all of a sudden, we want a relegation battle. Bro.
Well, can I just say that there definitely was discussions of, promotion relegation, even when Italy were there. But I think people getting more excited or maybe more offended because Wales are now the bottom one and people saying get rid of Wales. But I don't know. I think Georgia have also risen in the last 5 years when they were
a lot. They actually beat Wales, right? I remember the game that they played.
I remember after last Six Nations, Georgia tweeted them saying, "Let's play each other this last autumn," and Wales said, "Yeah, we'll arrange it," and they never did. They chickened out. The WRU didn't want to play Georgia.
Oh, Georgia will beat England as well if they really wanted to.
Moving on.
Yeah, the Black Lions are a good shout. I would prefer that above the Cheetahs. I just think it opens up the door for rugby to grow even more in Georgia. Get some eyes on Georgian rugby. They could be good representation for them. The same with when what was the Jaguares that went into Super Rugby, for instance. I thought it did wonders for rugby in Argentina.
The
same with the Japanese team. I just forgot their name now. That also, sorry,
Sun Goliath.
Yeah, wasn't it the Sun Wolves?
Sun Wolves.
Yeah, the Sun Wolves. Yeah, like stuff like that. I don't mind it, right? If it brings in more eyes, more competition, gets Georgian eyes on the URC as well. And especially if they only have the one team, everyone's going to back that one team to go there and upset the world. See the Georgian players travel to South Africa to there. Imagine if the Black Lions gets into the Champions Cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden they're playing all around Europe, playing in South Africa. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be very good. Yeah.
Was there any? I wanted to ask you a question, right? Now, this is obviously, I've got a personal agenda. Are cards being given too soft in rugby at the moment?
No, I don't think they are. I don't think it's too bad right now. I think the number of cards has lowered compared to 2 or 3 years ago. I think defenders are getting better at lowering their tackle height. I think we're seeing the effect of the cards being so hard.
No, but what I mean is like softer. So we saw a red card, for instance, and obviously Damien Willems is the best player in the world. Now, he got a red card this weekend, and according to the rule book, I get it, right? It can easily be a red card. But then I'm like, that was not a lot of force. You see players taking off other guys' heads. That's a red. But Willems is on a 2-on-1 in defense. The player gets tackled from behind. He gets the pass away. Willems is turned away. He's not even looking at the guy. Right? Obviously, it's a shoulder to the head. I fully understand. And I get, according to the rules, it's a red. But I just felt that is so soft. Like, this game is built on physicality.
Yeah.
That is not even a tackle. It's not even, he didn't even mean to tackle the guy because he chased after the guy that caught the ball on the outside. That's just my opinion. That's just an example. So I just wanted to know, do you feel like red cards are being given too softly?
I can't talk on that one instance, sorry, because I've not seen it. I just tried to find it on Twitter, but I couldn't find it. So, actually, we did have a soft one in the Premiership on yesterday between Harlequins and Exeter. It was the Exeter centre, I think his name Tamaiti Tua, I think that's his name. And the Harlequin, he's going to tackle a Harlequins player, and then Don Brandt at the last second comes in running in like in a different line, and he doesn't see him. He's trying to tackle this different player, but ends up hitting head-to-head contact with Don Brandt, and he gets a yellow card for it. And that it did feel a bit harsh. So maybe there is a little bit still, leeway needs to be given.
Yeah, because it's so up for interpretation. We see it more and more where refs like, no, that's just a rugby collision. But then you see the exact same thing in another game, and then sometimes it's yellow, and other times it's all of a sudden a red. And you think, well, what the fuck just happened? How is that even humanly possible? I mean, the softest red that I've seen in my lifetime has got to be that Jasper Wiese one, right? Like, how soft is that? That is crazy.
That was ridiculous. That was barely a yellow.
Yeah. You see, that's what I mean. That's why I just posed the question. Obviously, I have to reference the South African stuff because I focus a bit more on it. Right. Yeah. So that just popped in my head where I was like, I've seen these things happen multiple times now where some guys get away with it and it's only a penalty. Sometimes not even a penalty because they just say it's rugby collision, it's natural.
Yeah.
And then that's not natural. And then I'm like, well, you even got a red card. So now Damian Willems is missing the quarterfinal and the semi-final and potentially the final. Well, he's probably got to go to tackling school. Then he can get reduced to 2 weeks because I don't know if it's been confirmed, but as far as I know, I think it's going to be 3-week ban. And it's just like, so it's frustrating.
Yeah, I get that. And, hopefully, I haven't seen the decision, but if you're right, hopefully it gets overturned. But, yeah, it's annoying. I think it can definitely be lowered a bit, sort of, the harshness of cards. I think it just needs more consistency.
I mean, where's the good old days where they just argy-bargied and that's part of the game? Where's the ice hockey rules where you can just fuck up a player and nothing happens?
Yeah, I like it when
who cares about safety?
When they like have like the first handbags of the game and then the ref comes in and it's like next one's a yellow. It's like, oh, piss off. Just give it a little bit, It's good. We like to see players having go at each other.
I don't know, but the more of these cards you see, I'm just like more and more for the 20-minute red card. Because I heard Justin Marshall talking about it. I don't want to go into a massive discussion about it. I just want to say what he actually said because he made a very good point. Because we obviously spoke about the game and how it affects the game. But the thing is, like, for the fans, right? Imagine if you go to a game to Saracens or whatever. One mistake, red card, let's say after 10 minutes, 10, 20 minutes. You've got 60 minutes of 15 versus 14. It takes away from the game as a spectator who's paid so much money for it. Now you can kind of punish the team, punish the game for 20 minutes, but then you give the spectacle back to the fan of having it 15 on 15, and that guy's off anyway. Right? And I think 20 minutes with 14 guys is punishment enough.
Yeah. No, I'm a fan of the 20-minute red card, mostly, yeah. So,
I just hear other people talking about it like, well, if it's only going to be 20 minutes, they're going to do it again. Bro, no, that guy's not coming back. And he's getting suspended. So, no, they're not going to start flying in with shoulders. Because trying to kill DuPont. People talking about that, I'm like, no, bro, it stays a sport. This is not MMA.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to discuss, or do we wrap it up over here?
Oh, I don't know. Do you want to talk about the Premiership, or does no one care about it in this?
Let's chat about the Premiership. Why not?
Well, I think Bath played Leicester, which was an exciting one because it's first v second, and I didn't see the game, but I know Bath won, so there you go. That's all I can say about that. Let's talk about. I just want to quickly talk about Saracens. Last minute loss to Northampton with a controversial forward pass for their try. I mean, it's at the stadium and it was so loud, it absolutely erupted. It's just such a great atmosphere there. So watch the matchday vlog that comes out tomorrow. But it just means it's no longer in our own hands what happens with the top four. Well, that's really
how's the attendances been this season? Well, you can speak about Saracens, but overall, if you had to think, how's the attendances been of the Prem? Because I know the Prem got a bad rap the past few years, but the past 2 seasons that I've looked a bit more at it, like, well, crowds look pretty stacked.
Well,
looks in a good spot.
The grounds were pretty good all the way till COVID, and then they kind of took a couple of dips after COVID. But yeah, I think this last year's was like the highest ever. I think this year's going to beat it. They've not really been great with giving away some of the attendance figures, but every ground looks full, or most grounds look full. Sale and Newcastle naturally in the north, where it's not so much rugby union as the main thing. But other than that, most grounds are looking great. So I reckon they'll be on for record crowds per game this year. It helps when like Worcester and London Irish went under because they did get smaller crowds, but still, it looks pretty good.
I saw a stat today of like the URC's attendances. I saw it of the Premiership, but you know what was above the Prem? It's a bit sad.
What?
The Pro D2.
God, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
I saw it today. I saw it on Twitter. They get better attendances and viewership than the Prem.
No, they don't. No, they don't. I don't know what they do very well. I guess it's probably about half them. Well, I think their attendances are about the same as URC, but maybe a bit lower than URC. They definitely get more attendances than Welsh teams and Italian teams, but I don't think they're matching English, Irish, South African teams.
Maybe it was just viewership and not
attendance. Maybe it was that like one weekend. I'm not sure, but it won't be overall.
Could be. I'm not too sure. I can't remember exactly. I just remember I saw it and I laughed a bit.
What Twitter page do you see this on?
No, I just saw it on my following. Someone reposted it, like they took the piss with it.
Fair enough.
And I didn't save it. That's why I can't remember exactly because I was still at work while I saw it. I'm trying to. How many teams qualify for the Champions Cup in the Prem?
8.
8 out of the 10. Yeah. 8 out of the 10 qualify.
Yes.
What happens to the other 2? Do they go into the Challenge Cup?
Yeah, they go into Challenge Cup.
So we have a battle for the top 8, and you guys just get 8 out of your 10 qualified.
Okay, sorry, can I just say, I found the graphic between that Pro Data and Premiership attendance thing, and it's right. The Pro Data is 2,000 ahead of the Premiership for overall attendance. However, they have 6 extra teams, so they're playing 3 extra games a weekend, which is going to be about double the number of games. So
what was it in total attendances for the season?
Yes.
How much is the URC at? How much above?
So it's 1,428,000 for the Prem, 1,430,000 for the Pro Leader, 1,690,000 for the URC. So yeah.
Well, the Lions didn't really attribute to that because they have got empty stadiums.
So the Premiership will be beating both of them per game, but you got higher overall, which is what that says.
Yeah, no, but that's understandable because it's like you guys can travel to the away games, we can't.
Well, it's just like the Welsh, Scottish, and Italian aren't getting great attendances, and the Lions.
Yeah, sneaking in the sneaky Lions.
I reckon Stormers have got to be top 5 in Europe. You get some massive ones there.
Yeah, I think our average attendance, I saw the other day, I think it might be around about like 26,000.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but it's got to be around 20, which is pretty good.
No, but remember, we've got a massive stadium. So when the Bulls and the Stormers play, you sell out, let's say 60,000. That covers kind of 2 games.
Yeah.
By the end of the season. And during festive season and stuff, then it pumps. Like people go there because everyone's on leave from work. So no one's at work. You've got your weekends for you. You go and watch the game. So then the stadiums are stacked. Like I understand during like random games. Let's say for instance if Zebre travels to South Africa, you're not gonna get a massive crowd. Maybe like 10,000, 20, between 10 and 20, right?
Yeah.
But then the bigger games will obviously push it up the average a lot more. You get about 5 times more people in.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. It's good.
That wraps it up.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Please do remember to go and watch Jake's vlog. It's always a bit chaotic, so go and show him some love and support. He's doing his effort with the fitness journey, so we got to do our effort and support him out there as well.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next time. Please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Ciao.